Hi guys, Sharif here again with another tutorial. This time I'm going to show you how to create a nice text effect. The skill level of this is going to be set at easy again. I do promise that I'm going to do some more advanced tutorials a little later, but let's just stick with the basics for now. The text effect that I'm going to be showing you is going to be taken from this poster that I saw. I saw it and I really liked the effect here, and I wanted to show you guys how you can implement that into your own images. If your image is looking a bit bland, you can just put this in and it'll look a lot better. So the image I'm going to use today is this Mission Impossible 4. You can use any image you want, it just so happens I'm using this one today. Let's copy that and let's get into it. Now the first thing you're going to want to do is go to text and create your main text. And you're going to want the box to be horizontally longer than your image. So let's line it up here, and then you want this part to be longer. Doesn't matter how much longer, just quite a bit. And then the next part to do this is literally just spam in a whole lot of numbers. And we're just going to do one line. Notice that the font I'm using is Autumn and the size is 24. I do want to make my text black, apologise. There we go. And the reason we're doing one line is because if you go into a second one, this happens with all fonts, you can see the line spacing isn't quite right. So I've tried different fonts and they're all quite like that. And if you have a big gap in between your lines, if you go back to the poster, you can see there's virtually no gap. And if you had a big black gap in between them, you wouldn't get the desired effect. So what I've decided to do is we come down here and line it up. And we simply just press Ctrl J to duplicate our layer. And when we do this, we can drag it down with nice spacing in between. So you can see it's a lot smaller, but you can see now it's duplicated and the numbers are directly underneath each other, and that doesn't look too good. So what we're going to want to do is, the reason we made it go off the edges is so we can just move it to the side a little. And now it no longer looks similar, it looks just random. So you can keep doing that. We're going to want to do it about 6 times. Yeah, let's do 6 times. Just making it look as random as possible. Another one. Yep, that'll do. Another one, that's number 5. Let's put it right to the end. You want to get kind of the same spacing on each one. And last one. That'll do. So now that we've got 6, you just click on your top layer, then click on that one, shift click on that one, sorry, and now you've selected all 6. Then you can right click, duplicate layer, and then simply just drag it down. And you can see it does look still quite random. So that was what we're going for, but now we have 12 lines. So you can go down here and go all the way down here, shift click that, and you can, whoops, sorry, start again, right click, duplicate layer, and shift, and then just shift it all the way down here. But now we have 24 lines, and you can just duplicate those. I pressed control. So yeah, shift click those, duplicate them, and bring them down. Yep. And you only need to do that again one more time. Looking good. See, that's the effect that we wanted. Now all you can do is just go all the way to the bottom and merge your layers. Where is it? Just Control E to merge all your layers. Now we can put that to the side for a second, and what we're going to want to do is cut out your main image. Not cut it out, but go around it with the pen tool, just as if you were going to cut it out. And I'm going to speed this bit up, so I'll see you in a minute. Okay, and we're back. As you can see, I've just done a really rough outline of it. It's quite bad, to be honest. But now moving on, all you want to do is right click and make selection. Now we have the selection of our outline, and we're going to go onto this layer and do create layer mask. And this is as if we've taken out the background, but we don't actually want to do that. The only reason we're doing this is that so we can save the selection for a later time, because we're going to have to use it a few times in this tutorial. So you can just disable your layer mask if you want to, and then you want to bring back this layer, and we actually need to use the selection now. So just enable your layer mask and then control click on this little box, and you can see our selections back up, and you can just disable it again. Sorry. Now what you want to do is come onto this layer and then control alt, and as you can see, when I press alt, the little minus symbol comes up on the hand. If I can toggle it off and on there. You want to control alt click on that box. What that does is deselects everything in that selection. But let's go in here and I'll show you what's happened. Oops. Now it looks like we've selected all the numbers, but if we go and try to fill them in, it actually just fills in what's behind it because we haven't selected it. We've selected what is behind it. Now the way to get around this is you press Control Shift I, and what that is the same thing as going if you went to select an inverse, and it just selects the opposite to what you just had. So now we've selected our numbers, and if I try and fill it in, well that was better than I thought. But when I tried it, it went onto all the numbers. So if we try it up here, look, it's going onto all of the numbers. That's not what we want. So if we go back out, take off this layer, also take off our background layer, so we just have a completely transparent background, so we know what we're working with. We want to create a new layer. Remember that new layer, and with our white square tool, just want to create a standard white square around here. Make sure you select everything inside it, and now if we deselect, we can see we have our white text, but we have this silly little white square on the outside that we want to get rid of. So let's bring back our layer mask and make the selection, and you can see it's still there, so it's worked. But what we've done is we've selected everything inside the selection, and we want to again do everything outside, so we hit Control Shift I again to inverse the selection, and now we've got all of this stuff on the outside. Go back onto our layer, Control X to just same as edit, cut, to cut out all of that stuff, and now we have our white text here and our black text there. The next step onto it is to create a new layer in the middle of the black text and the white text. Get back to our selection and then create a black background there. The reason we're just using black and white is because what we're going to do is we're going to create a layer mask onto our image, and layer masks really only work with white and black. So now we have that. That's what we want to do. So let's select these three layers and merge them, and now we don't need the selection anymore, so we can just delete the layer mask. Let's bring back our image, and sorry, no, we don't want to do that. We want to Control A to select our whole canvas, and then from there you want to press Control C, just like we did in the last tutorial, to copy all of this and then bring it over here onto our image and then create a layer mask. And just like we did in the last tutorial again, alt click on your layer mask, and this is an editable version of what your layer mask is. So let's paste in, I've done it wrong. Let's start that again. You want to Control A and then copy, and then come back in, alt click and paste in our layer that we had here. And now that's in our layer mask. Now all we have to do is click away, and let's put in a black background, and that's our desired effect. It looks really good. It's a really simple and quick way just to add something extra onto your image if it's looking a bit bland. And from there, this is by no means finished. Add text, add anything you want, be creative. I'm just showing you the general effect here. I mean, obviously, if you used a smaller font, you'd get more details of his face and stuff like that in. But that's all I wanted to show you. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to like it if you did enjoy it. subscribe as well, because there'll be more tutorials and more speed art. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.